Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I'm Shireen Ban. Supercars are no longer a rare sight on Indian roads. We could perhaps see a lot more of them if we had roads that people could drive them on. Enthusiastic spenders are plenty, but roads is a problem. So we now have a new breed of supercars that can deal with this problem. Jamshed plays referee to a matchup of two such beauties. Take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an Overdrive Heavyweight Championship bout. This is your main event. In the maroon corner, weighing in at an even 2.4 tons, shelling out a brow-beating 525 PS of max power from the Mercedes stable, the ML63 AMG. In the white corner, weighing in at about 2.1 tons, putting out an equally impressive 500 PS of max power, a brother from another German mother, the Porsche Cayenne Turbo. Now we have a hell of a battle on our hands. Care to ring the bell?
Until recent times, when someone spoke of 500 horsepower and a 0 to 100 time of less than 5 seconds, you're immediately thinking sports car. The brawn of an SUV, on the other hand, was associated with earth-moving torque forced down the bottom end, which would help it quite literally climb mountains. And that's where these two are a bit different. The Mercedes ML63 AMG and the Porsche Cayenne Turbo look like your normal luxury SUV brutes, but they hide a very powerful secret under the hood, and when unleashed, they'll make supper of your average supercar. Upon first glance, the ML63 AMG and the Cayenne Turbo don't look like quintessential rivals, the Merc being an outright heavyweight in proportions, while the Porsche looks like a sports car on a high-protein diet and a gym schedule. And this difference carries forward in the way they move too. One throws harder blows, while the other moves more swiftly. Reminds me of one of those Rocky Balboa movies.
The interiors of the Porsche are a little bit more sporty, whereas the AMG is a little bit more stately. Now, I think the kind of people who are buying these power-packed iterations of these cars are the same kind of people who would probably appreciate the zesty interiors of the Porsche a little bit more. But that having been said, while this dashboard may look really beautiful, I think it's a little bit more busy, whereas the ML63 gives you a more sense of space. The other thing I like about the ML63 AMG's interiors is the steering and the seats, which feel great. Powering the ML63 is the familiar 5.5-litre AMG twin-turbo V8, which is now becoming increasingly common on big-capacity AMG cars. Now on the GL63 AMG, the same engine makes about 557 PS of max power, but on this, the ML, it's down-tuned to make a more usable 525 PS of max power. It's made it to a 7-speed G-Tronic automatic gearbox with a torque converter, which is the same gearbox as on the SLK55 AMG. Now when we drove that car, it kind of bothered us just a little bit because of its lazy upshifts. But on this, it's different, and that's because we drive this car a little differently. Just put it in auto mode and enjoy the surf of torque. This powerful iteration of the Cayenne Turbo gets a 4.8-litre single-turbo V8 that shells out a comparatively modest 500 PS of max power and an identical 700 Nm of max torque. Now it will match the ML63 in terms of performance. 0 to 100 takes an identical 4.7 seconds. Now, what compensates for this marginal lack in power is the fact that the Cayenne Turbo weighs about 300 kilograms lesser than the ML63 AMG.
The ML63 AMG is quicker off the line thanks to more power, but once you're past 40 km per hour, the lighter Cayenne Turbo is able to catch up with it. The excess weight further ails the ML as the Cayenne's lightness enables it to stop much faster and at a much shorter distance as well. The Porsche's advantage doesn't end then. A lower center of gravity and a more road-committed suspension setup helps it corner in a more confident manner. The ML63 AMG won't be left too far behind, but its electronics will make sure you're safer than apologetic, while the Cayenne Turbo will give you as much control as you want or can handle.
It's almost as if Porsche built the Cayenne and then forgot to inform it that while it is a Porsche, it is not a sports car. Well, everything about this car almost is imitating a sports car, which also means that the ride quality is a little on the stiffer side. And the steering, while it has a lot of feedback, but it also requires a little bit of an effort almost all the time, which means this setup might just work brilliantly on a racetrack, but when you're doing it every single day, it can get a little cumbersome.
Both cars have a fantastic suspension system, but the ML's adaptive AMG suspension does feel slightly more pliant overall. It is able to glide over everything you throw at it whilst also controlling body roll to a minimum. The Porsche benefits from a slightly lower center of gravity, but both cars get ride height adjust to lower or raise the suspension as per the requirement. But if this were a music contest, it would be one battle the AMG would win, hands down.
The secret lies in a sneaky little party trick. Now, a little bit of unburned fuel is introduced to a very hot exhaust system, and the result is a percussion orchestra of loud bangs and crackles. Now, you have to hand it to AMG when it comes to the sound of their cars. Now, if I could only remove these tailpipes, put them on my bedstand and get them to put me to sleep every night.
So you want supercar-like performance, the practicality of luxurious and spacious 5-seaters, and the ability to tread anywhere you wished. Well, this new breed of mega SUVs could just be the solution for you and for India in general. And these two fine specimens have traded blow for blow right down to the final round. It's time now to go to the judges' scorecards.
Well, the judges have reached their verdict. I have with me Halley, who's our resident road test editor. Halley, how would you score these cars?
Well, Jamshed, I would personally give the Cayenne Turbo a 9 and the ML63 will get an 8.
Well, that puts us in a bit of a spot because I would personally give the ML63 a 9 and the Cayenne Turbo an 8. Well, that means we have a split decision, but I'll tell you what, I'll let you be the third judge. Now, if you want practicality, more interior space, if more power is your thing but you don't want to shout out about it, then the ML63 AMG is the car for you. But if you want a sports car that's disguised as an SUV, if you want to hit the corners hard and you want to tell the world that you're driving a Porsche, then the Cayenne Turbo is the car for you. Well, in either case, you'd have to be fairly crazy to buy any one of these cars, and well, you'd have to have really deep pockets as well.